Rollmonger's Actual Play podcast is proud to present Star Wars Sega Edition Dawn of Defiance campaign, starring GM Jeff Ball as narrator and game master, with players Matt Witt, Ryan Messina, Aiden Willems, Jay Tamblin, and Frank Hamilton.
Hello and welcome back to Rollmongers. Rollmongers Raw as well on Twitch on Friday nights after 7:30 EST. But right now, we're also recording for our up-and-coming podcast, heavily edited and music put to. You can check out Rollmongers on YouTube with a slight little slideshow that we've put together for your viewing and listening pleasure. Tonight, our four-man crew perhaps will become 5, 6, maybe even 7 in the future. That's a lot of people to juggle.
As soon as Pozer says that, Rahal draws his pistol and aims it at her head.
Yes, I saw your yet another skill, assisting the doctor. And it was...
Roll pending. 9.
It was pitiful. I'm not afraid of you and your fork.
All right, boys.
True story.
Dr. Left says it's dark. We all get flashlights. We're all lit up.
Yep.
Down the tube we go. Pozer.
Yes.
Merrick, our tactician, seems a little bit distracted with the reality of icy tech. This could be bad. The doctor's handling it. Goes back to counting his credits. You notice the doctor, her entire posture changes. Now, this is something I would normally shoot at Raul, but because you have a side view, okay, it's you that notices the hand that goes under to the security button, and she's like,
I would have to HoloNet mail you back and forth about the specifics.
She says testingly, Pozer, hand on the button.
I can't write a report on that just from the raw data from the medical equipment and what the camera saw.
Oh. Why is her hand on the button? You really aren't going to do that, are you?
Her head jerks to the side looking at Pozer, and you guys all notice, the proverbial arm at the undersided position.
Well, if I might interject, excuse me, sorry, don't use my voice often. I understand why you're slightly confused by our friends here wanting to blur their faces, but at the same time, I'm slightly confused why you're reaching for the button there. Is there do you have an itch on your leg, or are you
As soon as Pozer says that, Rahal draws his pistol and aims it at her head. Surprise!
Okay.
No hidden buttons here. 2 steps back from the console, Doc.
Force persuade! Give it to her, man! He doesn't swing that way. We're not going with the classic Jedi. What do you see what this emo can do? You're going to love it.
Oh, yeah. It's to say the least.
Right, so Raul pulls the gun. Because you know what? Gun in my face. I am proud. I figured this out.
Against my will.
And she pushes the button defiantly. And alarms go off. Initiative.
Oh man, I see I'm going to be fighting for top of the initiative order with Merrick over there.
It is not often that you catch me unawares.
The Imperials have recently installed an alarm system with anyone that they're in bed with or bribed or, that kind of thing, whatever. And the doc has one because when she hits that button, an all too familiar classic Star Wars siren goes off. And not just in here. She just...
Oh, do we not beat her to the button?
Nope, she pushed it.
He has a gun in her face, and she pushes it defiantly, like chin up, just pushes it. Gives him a look, and he dares her.
Grab her, Merrick.
Besides her actions, there's no hostile on site. So, but sticking with what I can see here, talking for free, the surprise round. Pozer calls her on the button. Raul immediately whips out his holdout blaster, sticks it in her face, and she just defiantly, chin up, and moves a knuckle, and the sirens go. Merrick, what do you do? Rawls telling you to grab her.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. Just please do not resist too much. And I move forward and try to give her the old bear hug.
Okay, do the grab. Roll.
Get your hands off me. I'm a professional.
Well,
No,
I have a duffel.
I'm going to try and get her to go on comms and say it was a mistake that she pushed the button.
Okay. Well, Merrick's behind her and has her at the moment.
Besides, it's too late for you now.
Next in line, we have Pozer. What are you doing?
Pozer's just going to stand there, look at Raw, be like, "Oh."
He blames you. That's the I blame you sigh.
Oh, that's
You pulled the gun,
exactly.
man. You pulled the gun. Yeah. That's also the Pozer way of delaying an action, by the way. Moving down.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next, we have Dr. Askaleth. Doctor, I suppose dinner's off.
I was wondering if it might be possible to have Arthur kill the alarm, but
Yes.
I'm not...
Yeah.
Okay,
Totally.
yes. Arthur, that's enough of the alarm. Kill that.
Okay. He comes around to the side and finds himself a little droid part and plugs in and begins, interacting with a hostile computer. Ooh. Starts beeping and whooping at you, going, this is going to take a minute. He says he can get in the system, but... So...
Make it quick.
The doctor activates his super slicing droid. That's his action. Go. Oh, it's awesome to have a cohort, right, that has a skill set on top of your own. Hey, the man just spent 2 hours in surgery. You can't do everything for this party. Leave him alone. All right.
Sorry.
Now we
He's
have
tired. Easily tired.
I'm still cleaning up blood.
Rawl, gun in hand, still in this woman's face, who's grabbed by Merrick. The droid came around beside Merrick in the back of the stand-up console and is plugged in. Doc's telling him.
I'm going to lean forward, get right in her face, and say, "Now listen here, sister. You're going to call whoever it is on the other end of that alarm. You're going to tell him it was a mistake. Or I'm going to peel your eyeballs out of your skull with a fork."
Yes, I saw your aid another skill in the operating theater, nurse.
Oh, sorry. Can I have a persuasion? Intimidate?
Yep. Persuasion.
Yes, I saw your aid another skill assisting the doctor, and it was...
Roll pending,
Mediocre.
roll pending. 9.
It was pitiful. I'm not afraid of you and your fork.
That was a perception roll.
Yeah, that was a perception.
Oops.
Oh,
Wrong
I can't
button.
find her eyeball.
Try that again. That's basically the same thing.
There we go. It was the same roll of the dice, too. A 3 comes up a 9
Yeah.
for perception. If I could see you clearly, then I'd tell you.
She
He's threatening
spits in
the
my
doctor.
eye.
He's got the wrong guy. He's all up in Merrick's face with his gun and his fork. If I could see you clearly, I'd totally be telling you.
Oops, wrong button.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
And you're right, it was the same dice roll.
Okay. So, as she was saying,
Fine. I saw you aiding the doctor. It was
16.
fantastic.
And she's squinting and squinting her eyes and leaning her head back as far as she can.
I'll call them. Just let me go.
I'll give Merrick a little nod.
Merrick?
Let her go.
All right.
But I loom.
I loom. How could you not loom? You're huge.
I spent a full round action to loom.
Even when you're making stealth rolls, you loom. I'm a looming shadow, but I'm a stealthy looming shadow. All right.
Don't get any funny ideas.
Okay, so she, tries to call up, the head office or whatever, and makes her own persuasion. And,
Hello? Central Control? This is Douglas Medical Supplies. It's Dr. Fenn speaking. I'm afraid we are experiencing a technical flaw with our console. We do have somebody working on it.
she says, looking down at the droid.
Please ignore the system-wide alarm that we have set off. I'm terribly sorry.
there's a pause, and then someone comes across going, Dr. Fenn, I can't shut that down without the station manager's approval. Let me get him on comms. So there's that horrible, endless wait. The siren's going. She's doing everything she can, waiting to hear back so she can continue to persuade the right person to, ignore everything that's happening. It's that tense moment. Pozer is still sighing, waiting for his action in this round. The doctor patiently waiting. Merrick patiently looming. Rawl deciding between fork, gun, or spoon. And the droid's still working away, and finally, he actually gets the siren to stop. And beeps in his little triumphant success.
Anything else, Master? Beep, beep.
Storage V14 is...
Right, so R4 tells you that there are ventilation shafts next to the cargo bay. There's a big... this cargo bay is interior, like there's no airlock to space, if that's what you're asking. He does tell you that the cargo bay, deep storage bay, I should say, it's near... It's a very special ventilation shaft because it's near the interior, like one of the main systems. I'm just looking for
Coolant shaft?
Sorry?
Coolant shaft?
Well, you know those Star Wars shafts? They're big, square, a couple red lights, and they go on forever.
Yep.
Yeah, and
one of those.
They're riddled through floors in stupid places like cargo bays and like launch bays. And so anyway, he tells you that there is this shaft, but there's no ship access to this. It's an interior bay. Like, we have to walk down. We got to go down an elevator, several levels, go to the deep core of the station, and there's no getting there by ship.
But there is a possible alternate exit from there through the ventilation shaft, rather than walk through the hallways to the front door of the storage bay.
The shaft does connect to other places, but it's very dangerous to navigate without proper equipment.
Okay. Well, from the sounds of things, we're going to have to be doing a frontal assault.
We could set up some form of diversion.
Wait, would this proper equipment include force sensing capabilities?
No, I'm talking about like rappelling gear on a sheer metal surface. Like a shaft in a metal place is a shaft in a metal, no handholds, just shaft. Blinking lights.
Gotcha.
Giving you a sense of how far you've fallen forever before going splat.
Yeah. Or like what the Emperor got thrown down.
Not even that nice. I thought it was a huge, nice, big round shaft with shit in the middle to cling to. Like, this is a square 10x10 shaft with some red running lights up the side of it, all nice and gray. And the shaft just sort of opens out into a room, and there's a shaft under it. So for you guys like climbing, it's difficult to describe without showing you a picture, but the droid says you can't drive a ship to this bay. That he can tell you. And that
kind of what I wanted to know.
Right. Is, getting off topic here. Anyway.
The store manager, Master, the security system is routed to an Imperial channel, so anything that happens to the main console in the control room, the Imperial shuttle, as well as the Imperial comms channel, are being broadcasted to, and they're aware. We should go. Can I go?
Yeah.
he's heading for the exit. He's telling you this as he's like circling the table and headed for the door, right?
By the way, beep, 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 this is going on. Can I go? Can I be excused? I've done everything I can.
Whilst you await your superior's responses, I suppose it would be best for us to start heading out.
All right. Are you guys going to leave her on the mic to try and talk down with a gun in her face? Or are you guys just going to bail? What do you guys want to do? Doc and the droid are thinking about leaving.
Send the Doc and the droid with Maya. I'll keep Pozer with me.
Okay. You want to get Merrick to move the body, and you guys get out of here? Where do you want to go?
Probably back to her quarters until we...
Okay. For what you guys can see, you guys get the girl and hustle down to...
Yep.
Okay. That brings us here. Do you see this? So, apologies in order. being a little new, a low-budget, no-budget podcast, due to some corrupt audio, I shall now fill in 30 seconds or less, an entire episode. But don't worry, it was a slow, boring one. Our good doctor sent Arthur to a control panel anywhere he could find, possibly a control station, to hack in, slice in, as they say in Star Wars, to the main system and give them sort of a guiding GPS heads up and control doors, security systems and such, as they tried to find a alternate route as opposed to the main elevators and main hallways down to the sub levels of Zelzon Station. They decided on a plan where they would invade a cargo bay, which actually had access, like a docking bay, to the outside. Arthur made the wonderful glowing blue LED light, which shows you the force field to the cold vacuum of space is up and running and keeping the air in and you and your guts in place. And he made it flicker and panic everyone evacuating the bay. That's the good news. He also powered things down so that backup systems wouldn't fire in. Unknowns to players, who happily jogged on down there like it was a cakewalk, they sent 2 engineers that worked for the station to fix the problem, which in turn the party surprised and held hostage at gunpoint, knocking them out and stunning them. And this is where we continue our story with a few rounds into this one-sided combat, where they are subduing 2 engineers and taking their cart and their stuff. Into position, and some had got pot shots and had neutralized one of the engineers who had tethered themselves to the wall and started coming along pushing their shopping cart of tools, quite surprised to see you guys popping up without breath masks, that the force field is working fine now, and you guys are shooting at them. Stunning them, I believe. And it was Merrick's go, and Merrick had moved up into position. So, cueing exciting music, which I believe is already playing. Now here's a question.
For you folks on the Twitch stream,
I was going to say, is this
copyright infringement issues? So there is no music.
Just imagine a nice
until I sit down and put together a couple nice little MIDI scores that we can play in the background that are copyright infringement free.
If you type in Star Wars royalty free stuff, there's all kinds of remixes. Now I don't know if you can pull it up another tab and have it playing as the ambient music, but that might be worth a shot. Anyway, Ryan, Merrick, it is your go, sir. What do you do?
I wish to stun this engineer. He is in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay. One literally falls in front of you as you take a bead. The second one is around the corner of the wall behind his cart, and in your current position, you do not have line of sight on him.
Alright. Could I try to roll past his cart and shoot him? And say maneuver?
Last time we played, the most I gotten out of you was moving up to your current position. So you have a move action left. So you could double move to get to him. Yeah, you could double move to get to him and end your turn there.
I'll do that.
Okay, you get 6 squares, which is the proverbial 30 feet or X amount of numbers. So, do you have control of your mini?
Would there be a... Alright?
Yeah. Would you mind spamming the space bar to show our viewers how you got there? Now, if you're going to go through the nose of that ship, that's considered squeezing. It's going to cost you double movement. So just to get to the other side of that ship is 2, 3, 4. You're at 4. 5, 6. Yeah, you could stand in the body. I mean, it might be considered difficult terrain or not, but you could still stand there. You're good to go. And that's your double move. You have only a swift action left, or free actions.
Don't move.
All right. Threatening the man. Always a pleasure. Next, we have the actual engineers. Okay. Pushing his cart, this cone of blue force comes flying across the room and nails the guy he's talking to, and he drops in a heap. Looking up, Rahal coming around the side of the ship, and then is in his face, squeezing and then jumping out in front of him from around the corner, this great big human-looking heavy jack guy with a great big gun right in his face, steps around the corner and quietly asks him to freeze. So, as a free action, I emit a certain smell in panic. And as a move action, he raises his hands in surrender and looks quite surprised. He says, I don't understand. What's going on? We're just here to fix the force field. You're in danger, sir.
You've made good choice. As I start to grab his arms and just kind of bind them with some tape.
Okay.
Behind his back.
All right. Pozer.
Yes.
Still have a turn left if you wish to do anything, but it looks like things are pretty much ending. One guy went down, the other guy surrenders.
I'm going to put my guitar back in my case.
Okay. Full round action. Rahal. This gentleman has completely been surprised by you. You dropped his buddy, and now he's surrendering himself to Merrick.
I'm going to give a smirk, put my weapon away, and say to Merrick, looks like you got things under control here.
I have things under wraps. What do you want with him?
I don't know, maybe you should just stun him and stick him in a corner.
Very well. I will find a place to dispose of him. Nothing personal.
Dispose? But wait, I have to... and he and down he goes in a heap. However, still shooting him, panicking, there was something he wanted to do. We'd kind of ended the round, so I'll give it to you that he, kind of surrendered. You put your gun away and got out the tape, and now we're back to talking, and he just kind of, what? No, wait, I got don't think he could probably get to the radio. It's a little bit sloppy on my part at the end of the turn, but that's fine. So down he goes in a heap, and I suppose that noise you made does mean stunned and not kill.
Well, if I use the original sound effect that made the ouvre from the first Star Wars, that's copyright infringement. So my own interpretation of it is my creation, so we can use that left, right, and center.
Actually,
So
I
think
like
we
that.
just-
There was sort of a power down, go to sleep kind of blaster sound. I like that. Yeah, that was nice. I like that.
Yeah, if we just want to run that loop and you ever want to edit it over, that's total, great for us.
And, and then Ryan gets sound effects credits.
That's right. That's welcome to Pajama Clad Productions, and you are our soundbite executive creator. All right. So, Merrick said somewhere to dispose of them. Is that like temporarily stow them, or actually dispose?
Merrick's pretty confident that he could shove this body into one of these cargo containers that litter the shuttle bay here.
You want to Agent 47 of them? There's always convenient things that are body sized, like a big hamper basket, or There's
I guarantee you, there's one of these containers that's only about 70% full. Enough room to put at least a small family.
There's always that big hole in the wall with a blue glow around it. I mean, you just get on the other side of that light and just, all of a sudden...
It's called for me. It's called space.
Yeah, there you go. But you know what? With your luck, they'll float around to the front and they'll be screaming and pointing. You remember how the opening scene was people at the promenade looking at the windows and everything? You see an engineer floating by, that would freak out people.
Merrick's taken interpretations on and liberties on orders in the past, and it's never turned out well in the past. So he'll just stick to the literal command.
Now, just so you guys know, okay, since I baited Ryan to do that, then I also told him what would happen. But if he totally shoved him out of an airlock without me saying anything, that's exactly what I would have done with it. There would have been some alarm going off 20 minutes later as Mr. Engineer floated by a freaking passenger cargo window or something, and everybody started freaking out. Merrick, what'd you do with the bodies? I got rid of them. Shove. All right.
I put them in space.
Put them in space. They always want to get to space. Crazy for space. All right. So... you want a nice cargo bin. Oh, this looks body size. We'll put them in here. And that leaves you with a lovely big cart full of tools. And two engineers in engineer clothing. I believe last game Rahal said something about looking for a disguise.
Yes, I did. That is a great idea.
That was your idea. I'm just trying to remind you because it's been a good week or so. We had to skip
I know.
the session.
I was just tooting my own horn.
Oh, okay. Now, unfortunately, these uniforms are too small for...
Maybe we're like an episode of Big Guy, Little Jacket.
Yeah. Just... it looks like baby Huey with the one button frickin' done up on the front.
Just rip the arms off and wear it like a vest.
Still got the guy in it. Hanging off the back of him. Can't be trusted to leave behind.
Man.
Sorry. Okay, so are you interested in donning said disguise?
Yeah, I will for sure.
Okay. You know what that means.
I'll strip whichever one smells the best.
Okay. That means you're putting on a disguise. I get to mark you with a little face. You're wearing a mask, as it were.
Sweet.
Yes. Okay. So while Rahal is getting out of the pinstripe suit, right here on camera for Arthur to videotape, and puts on the overalls and all this stuff, or just tries to put over top of, I can see maybe just acing your silk jacket, folding it up, precious, hiding it somewhere, and just putting these overalls over top of your clothes.
That's probably exactly what I would do, actually.
Because these guys have like a suit overall. Like this is like a jet pilot flight suit that doubles as overalls because it has the helmet and everything. So it's tight fitting enough so that you can move around and do complex repairs, but bulky enough that it's an actual external suit, like a flight suit, or has an air source, which it does. It actually has its own breath mask and air source in the helmet, but your face is exposed. It's complete like plastic dome. It's not one of those. Yes, sir, Judge Dredd, we're in disguise kind of thing. Here, people can see your face. Okay?
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying the helmet has a air source, breath, oxygen tank, because these guys were expecting to have no air. It's like a flight suit, like a high-altitude flight suit.
Oh, okay.
That they were using,
right.
You know what I mean?
I follow.
It's not
like
thermal.
A utility flight suit.
Yeah. It's not completely
exactly
thermal. You know what I mean? Like, if the vacuum opened up, they'd have enough heat in the suit or whatever to like get to a panel and close the auxiliary hatch or whatever, but they couldn't exactly go spacewalking in this kind of thing. Anyway, You're putting that on. What are the rest of you guys doing? Dr. Leth, Pozer, what are you guys doing?
I'm just watching down the other hallway.
You're just standing guard? Good move.
Yeah.
Dr. Leth, Aska Leth?
I think I'd probably be going to check to see if the other costume or if the other disguise smells too bad, because I don't know, maybe.
Well, the helmet isn't going to fit Pozer. He couldn't get it all the way down over his giant frickin' cone head to be this.
That's what I figured. I'm about the only other person it could fit.
It would be great, though, if we got the white-haired alien with white eyes and 4 fingers and the cone-head guy in the suits, and you guys pass yourselves off as an engineering crew. That'd be great. I think Rahal is the only guy that really looks remotely human in this party. Everybody else is something about you. Yes, it's just something.
Well, the suit wouldn't cover my hair?
Oh, no. You can get in. But I'm saying because the face and head is completely exposed, your alien nature is, obvious.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a hood with just like an open face.
No. 1 second.
Uno momento.
Please discuss it among yourselves.
Yes. So yeah, we were trying to get through that hatch in the center of the floor. That's the ultimate goal of this hangar bay, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to remember exactly what we were doing here. Probably something we're going to have to sick Arthur on.
No, I believe we were successfully prying it open when we got walked in on.
Oh,
yeah,
we were
I had
already working on it.
partially opened.
Oh,
yeah,
beauty.
I think
Even
one
better.
of the teeth was open, but yeah, Merrick was messing around with some wires down here while I was prying on it, so...
Oh,
which
right,
made it
right. Yes, I remember now.
Successfully did his finagling thing.
Good. Well, it seems like we've got everything under control here. Except for that slight weapons malfunction. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Does anyone know where the camera was?
Oh, it was up here somewhere. Alright, it's down.
Sorry, I don't know actually where you pinged.
Oh, very bottom of the map, near where we stored the bodies.
Maybe that's not such a good place.
Yeah, just on a
In retrospect.
Forgot about the camera.
Yes, we did forget about the camera.
All right. So, getting back to our story, gentlemen. I believe Askaleth was trying to see if this fit. So, what are your physical proportions? How tall are you? How wide are you?
Otherwise, I'm pretty humanoid, as far as I was aware.
Average height and weight? You're not over 6 feet tall, or because as long as you're the proverbial 5'10", 5'9", 5'11", as long as you're 6'4", or something like that, you should be able to squeeze in a suit just fine.
Oh, I can fit in. It's the more issue is more. I was thinking if it had a thing to cover my head, then it would just be a matter of people recognizing that I wasn't human based on my eyes. But if there's no hat or hood or anything like that, then
there's a helmet, but it's like an open glass bubble. You can see 60% of the front. The back is just kind of shaded. So
it might be better than nothing.
Yeah, and if somebody came up, you could just turn away and let Raul do the talking or something, right? But
okay.
These gloves are a bitch. You got to stuff. You got to stuff your thick fingers, your slightly thicker clawed fingers into gloves that aren't. The fingers are smaller, and
It's okay. There's just a dangly empty finger. It's fine.
Yep. Or you could just, not wear them and just let the string mittens dangle and, that kind of thing. Go to town.
Hands in my pockets.
Yep. Got a hand in your pocket and everything's all right.
Yeah, and we made the realization that we also stashed the bodies right in front of where the cameras are, so that's probably not where we would put them.
I was wondering when you're going to get to that. Did Aiden enlighten you? Because I told him that he saw this camera right above this corner here.
Well, no, someone had asked where the camera was, and I realized, oh, hey, it's right above the bodies.
Right.
So
maybe it's a blind
an
spot.
idea that we don't put them there.
Well, if someone's seen you or was watching or recorded it, they've already seen that, sorry, boys, but I'm going to let that one stand. Merrick stuffed them. Then you guys come over and start opening drawers and let's get changed here. Now, if you're lucky, you're under the camera enough, it's a blind spot. If you're not so lucky, there is one way to check, though, who's watching.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Leth?
When we asked R4 about that last time, R4 was like, that's too much work for me. I opened the door.
He's lazy. He's a lazy droid. Well, what's the problem with not mind wiping? If you don't mind wipe, you can buy and sell a droid, and he has all those wonderful quirks and he has all those wonderful skills, but he still might be beholden to his last master or have to adjust to the new master. But their default programming, as you pointed out earlier, is the generic, typical R4 cone-headed R2-looking kind of thing. Arthur is basically a friendly droid, and towards you, he's done everything you said and has been basically friendly. It's just this sort of reluctant, this whole having his own opinion that he keeps throwing in on top of the guys, and some of those other things like being generally lazy for some reason. But anyway, so gentlemen, there you are in your new engineer uniforms. Looks like Merrick's got the cart. What do you guys want to do now?
Well, we should continue working on the door.
Okay. Pozer pretty much was working on having it open because Merrick killed the electronic closing override.
Yeah.
So now you just needed to sort of muscle it open. Pozer was in there prying away, but now Merrick's free, and you guys are all free. It shouldn't be hard to get through that eyeless elliptical door that's in the floor there in the middle of the room, which, according to R4, leads directly to the maintenance shaft, which you guys wanted to climb down.
Yeah. Is there any rope or anything kicking around this cargo bay? Was there any rope on their tool cart?
Rope?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Central?
Cable?
Yes. Cable, yeah. Cable. Rope,
Yep.
Cable, yeah.
Yep, there's a cable spool, like a giant spool of cable.
Yep.
It's not intended to bear weight, but it is technically a cable and could possibly bear somebody's weight.
Sure. Just a safety precaution, perhaps.
Yeah. Better than nothing.
And also, do our suits have mag boots on them?
The engineer boots, yes, they do.
Okay. We could probably mag down if we needed to as well.
Well, the problem with the mag boots are the switches on the actual calf, so you have to reach down to each boot and turn it on, and then you're stuck to the floor, and then it's a very easy strength roll, but you know what I mean? There's a certain amount of effort where you lift and place while they're on. So unless you wanted to sort of walk down a wall, which is a lot harder than it would seem, because you literally
I'm not
have
saying walk down a wall. I'm saying use the boots in conjunction with the cable to kind of rappel down.
Yeah.
Or use the cable to hold you and then use the mag boots to walk down, so you've always got a plant with your feet type of deal.
Yeah, the cable is harnessed to your upper half, and somebody's pulling on it to lessen the weight and your muscle strain of your upper body. Well, it's like wearing ski boots.
Yes.
They grip your calf, but they, from the knee up, you're completely pivotable,
Sure.
And if you want to put somebody in skis and then stick them to a wall, you're leading, it's hard to hold yourself up. It's not easy. Not to mention, these were not designed to climb walls. These were designed to stick you to a floor in case of an emergency. They're not designed to walk up a wall, so the actual binding, you know what I mean, can come loose if you're not careful, or you could fall right out of them. They're just designed to hold your butt to a floor and a zero grav. That's it. Or if you were if you were near a wall or an object, you could stick to it, no problem. But you know what I mean? These are not spider climb.
Yeah. Well, first things first. Let's look down the shaft and see what we're dealing with. How much of a drop we have to the next cargo area. Okay. See if there's anyone down there that we can actually see.
Mm-hmm. So you guys Give me some strength rolls, and you guys pry open the eyelids. Merrick, head on over.
Forthcoming.
Head on over to what we're doing. Everybody's having a pry.
Except Merrick. He's just twiddling his thumbs.
And it's Merrick you guys are going to use your
You
anger.
push like women, folks. He's watching. He's not helping.
He's not helping. He's got his boot standing on the edge of the eyeless while Pozer's trying to open, slowing it down. All right. Not overly difficult. As long as you guys make 10, you manage to pry back an eyeless. Okay. As you open this, normally a light should come on, but since Merrick has killed all the power to the shaft and the auxiliary, eyelesses or whatever, there's no emergency lighting that pops on. So you guys just see a dark hole. Unless you have infravision, which I believe somebody does.
I believe I do.
Yeah. Okay. So Dr. Leth, you see a metal rung ladder, which are basic rungs that turn and curve and are bolted directly into the wall. And they're not attached to each other, but they're all attached to the wall itself at 1 foot increments, running down one side. And then there's
Oh, we're doomed. I've seen Rogue One.
I haven't. No spoilers.
You haven't seen Rogue One yet? It's already on DVD.
Dude, I'm busy.
It's on Netflix, I think.
It's on Netflix. That's okay. It's
There are some metal rungs along the side.
I'm sure we can forgive you for not seeing one Star Wars movie, but if you haven't seen 2 or 3, then that's.
I've seen all of them except for the newest.
All right, that's fine. Just saying. Sorry, Dr. Leth?
There are some metal rungs along the side that we could use to climb down.
They don't start right away. They are literally a good 10 to 15 feet down. That's why the ambient light isn't picking us up, and these guys are considering cables. But if you get down far enough, they do sort of start up on one side of the wall.
Unfortunately, they're quite out of reach at the moment. Approximately 15 feet down.
Why would they do such a thing?
Well, Dr. Leth, you also notice that this shaft, as large as it is, 10 by 10, but round, drops down about 10-15 feet and then stops. And there's sort of a floor and vents and things going off and auxiliary wiring and crap everywhere, as well as a smaller shaft, which is barely man-sized, which has this sort of rung, big enough for a guy in a backpack.
I believe that the rungs are beginning where the maintenance shaft would be located. Until then, it is just this pit.
R4 said the maintenance shaft is down there. He didn't say that hatch was the maintenance shaft, as now Askaleth is telling you guys. So, who brought a flashlight?
Right.
Glow
Hey,
sticks.
let's look around and see if we can find a flashlight here. I don't have one on me, I don't
Does
think.
anybody have any in their gear?
Yep.
As far as lighting, there's all kinds around the bay, but it's all plug in the wall. All kinds of auxiliary lighting for under the ship and mechanics and stuff, but they all plug in. None of them are really battery powered. I mean, there's even
Did any
outlets.
mechanics have any?
I was just saying, all the mechanics here have lots of lighting, but they all plug into actual outlets. There's wires and there's outlets in the floor. There's all kinds of powered up stuff, but they're all on cables. The proverbial.
Does anybody know offhand if electro binoculars have night vision?
And come with it. That and heat vision and rangefinder.
Yeah, I think it does have some options. I just don't know offhand. I'll have to crack a book.
Could be interesting. An option.
Electro binoculars.
So no one has a
base.
spotlight or a flashlight or anything in your
I
gear.
don't.
All that money you guys.
I have a glow stick.
That's something. There you go.
No, literally, one of those? I got one of those.
What, at home? You the player? I'm talking about your character.
No, Merrick. He has one.
Oh, okay.
He likes going to the occasional rave. Don't judge him.
Crack the glow stick and drop it in the hole, Rambo style.
Goes to the
Yeah.
occasional rave. I like that. Great big huge guy.
Electrobinoculars do indeed have dark vision.
So then, yes, I do actually have night vision in the form of electro binoculars.
Oh, okay. But you have to hold it to your face because these are binoculars.
Yes.
So
yes,
I
would.
You can have a peek, but
Yeah.
Small price.
all right, gentlemen, give me an intelligence check.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I'm just the DM's
14.
feeling bad for you guys. We're, it's been a couple weeks since we played.
That's a 15 intelligence.
Okay, the suits should have a light source built into the helmet.
Oh, of course they would. Duh. Thank you.
And the cart we left in the hallway, right, should have stuff on it. Now, I think I misunderstood Merrick when he said, don't the mechanics. I was talking about the guys that working in this room had Porta-Light's 500-watt lamp, sitting under a car, and I was in the middle of describing that.
About the cart as well, for sure.
Yeah. So
there's a cart full of tools. Let's see what they got.
You said what's around, and I'm looking at the room going, oh yeah, it's a mechanic bay, lots of stuff, but they all plug in a wall. On the actual cart itself, there is a battery and plugs for all kinds of stuff, but there is certainly like handheld, little Dewey
torches.
Yeah.
I'll check my suit for the switch.
There'll be probably...
I'll ransack the cart for a torch.
Yep.
Up on the side of my head. Click.
All right. Roll percentage, ransacker.
Percentage.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you...
Okay.
I'll give you a 50% chance you find a torch on this cart. 22. Rahal finds a torch. Though I thought Rahal was going to go with his own headlight.
Still going to look.
Still don't see anybody near the cart.
Hey, I found this.
Still don't see anybody near the cart. Let's go get the cart. Here we are. There you go.
Yeah.
It just comes over. Follows the mag boots. Mama.
That's a sweet cart.
There you go. Merrick rolls 2d10. 49%. Where the hell is it? Oh, there you go. There's one. Keep searching.
Oh, if there's anything that's shiny or seems of worth or better than what I have currently, I'll take it.
You want more than one, right? So it doesn't really matter who's doing the searching. It's not like somebody else is more perceptive. This isn't just odds that there's a 50% chance that there's a torch on there. And no, it'll be, I'll roll a d4 and it runs out after this many. 90. No, don't seem to find anything else. So, but people never put shit back where it's supposed to. So there's like 4 slots, but you only found one. Like, okay, well, there's one. Rifle through the rest of the cart really quick. No, that's all I can see. So now we have binoculars, 2 suits with lights on the helmet or shoulder kind of deal, and your little torch and a glow stick.
I thought Rahal rolled for a torch as well.
I thought Matt misunderstood and just because I said roll percentage and he went, okay. I was referring to Merrick. You want to rifle this cart too, Rahal?
Oh yeah, for sure I would.
All right, then yes, I'll let that original roll stand. Where is his roll?
22.
22, yes, okay. You find another torch, handheld.
Sweet, and I tossed it over to Pozer.
All right. Pozer, you don't need light. You can sense things if you wish,
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, you don't need it. You don't
This
need
is a very tempting force.
I don't. I
don't need light.
You don't need light. You could use use the force skill instead of a perception check, which means you don't need light at all.
He's a Jedi.
No, Jedi.
But
no,
that would
it's 30 rules.
people off. Oh, hey, Pozer, why do you not need a light?
Something occurred to me the other day while I was sampling that music, and the guy cuts in, there's been an awakening. Wait a minute. So this chick, Ray, suddenly gets the force-sensitive feet, and people miles away can feel that? Pozer, you're screwed. Because we're entering a time where the Force users are dwindling, and when all those other candles start getting snuffed out by Vader and the Inquisitors, sooner or later, holding your breath the way you proverbially do isn't going to be enough. Right now, you're fine. It's only 3 months after Order 66. Still, lots of Force users in the galaxy. They're just gone into hiding. But as the years roll by, just saying, holding your breath is not going to be enough.
But then Pozer will be strong enough to defend himself, so...
That's the 3rd time you said just saying.
That's my tagline. All right, boys.
True story.
Dr. Leth says it's dark. We all get flashlights. We're all lit up.
Yep.
Down the tube we go. Now, climbing a ladder, I would suppose in this system is much like a knotted rope against a wall, blah, blah. The climb checks are redundantly easy. They're like 5 or less, and you have to fail a roll by 5, I believe, in these rules. Unless you fall to your death. So, to back me up, Jay's recent reading of the rules, our brand new rule lawyer, because unfortunately we've all been too busy and we just kind of remember the rules from 3 years ago when we used to play this. Back me up here, guys. Can anyone tell me if it's really legit to have these guys start rolling climb rolls on a ladder when they have mag boots, a flimsy T3 cable to hold them up? I don't think it's really necessary, but...
Well, the problem is every time we play Pathfinder, we always have to climb something, and somebody's wearing heavy armor, and they fall to their death.
Well, there's this great shaft in the first module of Mummy's Mask, and I dramatically did elevator music and made them all roll, and the players were just exhaustedly bored by the time I got them all to the bottom, so I was like, whatever. If I ever climbed again, this is for you, Connor. I won't make you roll when it's this easy. So, because we're technically on sort of a sideways way, instead of just walking down there and saying hi to the guards and buying, bribing, or killing your way into this room, we're doing the Ocean's 11 way. We spent an entire session on it. Let's get on with it, shall we? Open the door, turn on the lights, down the maintenance shaft you go. Right?
Yep.
Okay. You need to get to a very lower sub-level. All right? It's not very long before every time you guys like hit a level and things branch out or whatever, that, you guys feel like you might be getting lost. So, getting us used to the system, because you never split the party as long as we're on comms. R4 can direct you guys. If you have any questions, Dr. Leth can, how many shafts down, so many...
Yeah, I think we'll cue Dr. Leth to take the lead so he doesn't have to relay information through R4 every time.
Okay. Anyway, the signal starts breaking up. You guys are subdermal. The signal starts breaking up. You guys are underneath a whole bunch of metal.
I was a pre-dermal.
Your comms are getting fuzzy. I told this gentleman. R4, I'm going to make him this NPC earn his pay because I love being a shit to Dr. Leth. He suggests that you use the channel on the actual engineer suits, and he can pipe into that. And it's like a hard, it's more of a hard system-wide channel.
Oh, there you go. An extra awesome reason for you to put on that suit, Aska.
There you go. Anyway, Rahal.
I do worry though. Wouldn't that result in connection with the network?
Maybe. Don't ask anything an engineer wouldn't ask me. No one's gonna
mind static chatter.
He says with
me going beep bop boop and you deciphering binary and saying which way. Talk like you're fixing things, Master. Don't talk about stealing things and shooting people and where you stash the bodies.
Beep bop boop. Okay. Jeez, I hope no other droids are monitoring this channel.
Okay.
Well, lead on, Dr. Leth.
Dr. Leth.
Well, then I switch to the channel on the head comms with that R4 recommended and continue on.
Continue on your way. All right, just going to do a very quick frank check. All right, so keep in mind now, to stay in contact with the droid for free help, to balance it becomes a little riskier. Fair enough? When you guys get stuck, you can ask a droid. Kind of like phone a friend. Only, there's a small percentage chance that I will roll that someone may take notice of the unusual, or if you guys take too long, the engineers haven't checked in, right? So, lots of climbing, lots of time, and in these passageways and shafts and dizziness seems like an eternity. But eventually, we come to a shaft, and you guys can sort of step off the ladder, and you're in an access shaft, okay? And it's like a 4-way kind of deal, okay? 3 of the ways are very small. They're like vents. You'd have to duck down and crawl through them squished. There's no way Merrick could fit in one. A small character or you guys could squish, except for Merrick, okay? The other way is an open sort of hole in the wall, like 10 feet away, and you guys walk to the edge of it, and it's literally those Star Wars moments where you walk and you're, poking your head in a giant shaft. And this thing's a 10 by 10 straight up, straight down. Oh, hey, I remember this. This is the... And as R4 promised, the maintenance shaft runs pretty much parallel in a zigzag pattern and comes us right down to this shaft. Okay?
Yep.
Now, peeking down the shaft, okay, there is a 20-foot drop, and then it opens up, and then there's a 10-foot gap, and then another shaft below it. And since you guys are just sort of, blah, 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 making noise, talking and everything, and then you sort of walk away from the maintenance hatch and come to the edge of this where R4 says to go, that 10 feet that you traverse, you guys can feel the rush of air. And luckily it's been kind of muting the noise you guys have been clanking around a little bit. But sitting here listening and leaning out, you guys can get a feel that there's noise or there's something ambient going on in this open area that's under the shaft. It is, according to Arthur, Deep Storage Bay V14.
Okay.
Okay. Now you guys are no longer in this room, but you're in a space in between worlds, as if Neo in the Matrix. Guy with the key got you in the doorway, and you're between. You've gone off the gaming world. We're off the gaming map.
We're trying to find the secret levels in Mario.
There we go.
Bing.
Bum, bum, bum. And let me just get rid of this. Okay, so you guys are in said shaft. All right? Now, it's time for the lesson. Over here on the chalkboard. Hopefully my microphone can reach. Can you guys see this?
Yes, we can see the majority of it.
The majority of it? Go this way.
There you go. Right there is probably pretty good.
Close as I can get. All right. Okay. I'll try and find something really bright, like pink. Okay. So, you guys have come down a maintenance shaft. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can the world see that? Can you make the icons for D20 much bigger so people can, you know what I mean?
I will pump them up to large.
There you go. Hello,
and, yeah.
Here we are. Okay, it's not a penis. This is a shaft. Oh, bad enough word. With little rungs in it that you guys climb down from up here. Okay, so the map that's on the screen is way up here. You guys come down the shaft, okay? It opens up into a room. The room itself has multiple little ducts off of it, right? 2 this way, 1 this way, going, different directions, right? Okay?
Yep.
So here, you guys are standing. Hello. That's you. See?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Out here is the actual 10 by 10 shaft that you guys first found out about.
Okay, so this is just a maintenance access location.
Okay.
Inside the shaft, similar to where we came down to in the first place from the other big shaft, right?
Right. So, gentlemen, peering down into what can only be described as a dark abyss with a tiny little light of danger, perhaps a reactor, generator, a garbage chute, air vent, reactor, venting core vent. But looking over this parapet, you go from what seemed to be a safe maintenance hatch vent, down ladders, directed by R4, who is still plugged in and talking to our doctor on comms. And now you're looking down a 20-foot wide and 20-foot deep square shaft down into what can only be described as a abyss with a pinhole glowing light within it. What do you do?
Listen. What do we hear?
The wonderful Ambiance Star Wars noise of generators whirling. Are you guys seeing this map here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ignoring what's behind curtain number 1, I'll just throw these guys back in the GM layer. There we go. The boxes with the blue light in the bottom, that is what you see. Only you guys are standing over one of them.
Okay.
So to emulate that, here you are. Everyone see their guy?
Yep.
Okay, now technically you're not in the room. You are 10 to 20 feet above the room, and the shaft opens up in every direction into what sounds like a room. And directly under that shaft, in the floor, exactly the same box size, the shaft continues down for several hundred feet. The sounds of the room are as follows. low mumbling and grumble, the ambient noise of a computer console, the odd click and beep and whirl of perhaps a droid in the vicinity, a faint, sparking, hissing noise, and the odd scrape of metal crate occasionally. There are people talking in the room, but if they are, you can't understand what they're saying. They're too far away. But there isn't a lot of movement going on down there. What do you guys want to do?
Didn't somebody say they had some rope?
Yeah, I got some.
Sweet. Tie it off to the rung of a ladder, chuck it over the side.
All right.
Pozer does just that.
Okay. Tie it off. And how many feet of rope you have?
It is 45 meters, or 30 squares.
Okay. Well, for sake of our argument, there's only 4 squares drop before you hit sort of open air space of the room.
Okay.
So, are you guys just tossing the rope in to be safe, or so that you have slack at the bottom to swing around, or what are we doing?
Yeah. Tie it off to the ladder and throw it down, and we'll take turns climbing down.
Okay. Who's first?
Well, I can go first.
Send in the mercenary.
I will go. This is my job.
All right. Can I have some climb checks, please? They are relatively simple. Obviously, you are on a braced wall, and your boots are going clanky clank against the metal. But that's not the interesting thing. Call them out.
16 and 8, 9, 21,
Okay.
16.
At 21, your feet have no more purchase. They're on the lip of the ceiling. You can see down into the room, and you see several people have moved to the edge, and they are peering curiously at your rope that have suddenly dangled straight into the room and then in through the floor. That's why I kept asking. They're all just standing around, and this frickin' rope just kind of goes, drops through the ceiling and keeps going down into the floor.
Have they made any noise, or are they just staring blankly at this rope like
I rolled perception, and
moment?
like one guy saw it, right? And he's like waves at the other dudes, and he's pointing, and they're all kind of waiting to see what the hell's going on with this rope. And now we see armored mercenary butt poking out of the ceiling with 2 heels. And they're just like 3 thugs, exactly where you can see them on the map, just kind of looking up at the bottom of Merrick there, and he's peering down at them, you know, just looking at him. What do you do?
Okay, do they look like guards?
They look like thugs.
They're armed?
Ruffians. Yes, they are. But
Okay.
they haven't pulled weapons
Can I
yet.
let go of the rope and grab them and fall with them? Like,
Okay, none of them's pulled weapons yet. You do see like pistols on their belts and everything. They're just standing there looking at you.
are we...
You are here on this end.
I know, but I mean, like, our whole status quo we're trying to keep while we're here. Was it trying to be, like, real quiet, or...
They spotted your rope, and no one called stealth.
What's in the room? What is it? Can you relay what you see to us?
I see guards.
And
That's it.
yeah,
An edge.
you could probably see all the way. You could probably see the droid too. Actually, you know what I'll do is I will, just so that there's no debate about what can and cannot be seen. I will turn on the fog of war, and I will reveal to Merrick exactly what he sees. That's about it. Because of the angle. You'd have to drop into the room a bit more.
Cool.
Actually, I'll probably give you a bit more considering you're on the back edge of that vent. So you see 2 guards over by a crate on the left side of the room. You see a droid, protocol style, humanoid, sitting at a desk. You see a little R2 unit plugged into a console that the protocol droid is sitting at. And on the other side of the room, there's a thug leaning up against another big, bulky box of crates. And these crates are all taking up about 4 squares, as you can see. You cannot see the back end of the room. And, everyone's just kind of looking at you by the time you got down here.
Maintenance crew?
Can I have... what is it? Deception? Are you still in your overalls? I thought you guys took those off.
Yeah, we would have...
I think you guys took those off last session, like once you got down here to the vent and were ready to make your big go. I'm pretty sure you guys peeled off those clothes. Could be wrong.
I thought Merrick couldn't fit in it anyways.
Yeah, that's right. He just pulled the pants on and it ripped all the way to the body. I think I have
enough negatives against me in this one to know that we're looking for something really high on the dice to show up for this to be feasible. That is far cry from being a high number. With all my modifiers and negatives, I have a 2 on the dice. So okay. After I add my positives into it, I get a 2.
All right.
So Merrick relays up to us over comms that the room's occupied.
Yep. And you there's a big tense moment, and like I said, you don't hear any or we're made or anyone's arming themselves. They're just all quiet, and Merrick's sitting there dangling, and he's kind of quietly describing the room on the mic, and then he says,
Rollmonger's Actual Play Podcast is proud to present. Sorry, again?
Sure.
Rollmonger's Actual Play Podcast is proud to present Star Wars Sega Edition, Dawn of Defiance campaign. Sorry, did I have to scroll down? Sorry.
It's okay, keep going.
No, you're ruining it! I'm in the zone! Starring GM Jeff as narrator and game master. I thought there was more. It just it fades on the bottom there, so it's not as bright as the top part of the text. So I thought, oh, clearly there's more. Wait a minute, is there? There is more! Curse you, buttons.